Well, time to return to Hogwarts for a second time. Let's talk about Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Doyle, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2002 fantasy flick Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, released by Warner Brothers, directed by Chris Columbus, based on J.K. Rowling's second novel of that name, produced by David Heyman and written by Steve Kloves. This is the second installment of the Harry Potter franchise, with Daniel Radcliffe as the titular character, along with Rupert Grint and Emma Watson returning as Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. Now, of course, this follows Harry's second year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, as the heir of Salazar Slytherin opens the Chamber of Secrets, unleashing a monster that petrifies the school's denizens. Ooh. Now, if you haven't seen my review for the Sorcerer's Stone or for Philosopher's Stone, to some of my international fans or subscribers or whatever, click on that card and you can catch that review before you go into this one. All right? I'll give you a few seconds more. Okay, that ought to do it. Okay, well, while Harry Potter spends the summer at the Dursleys, his dreadful step-parents, a house elf named Dobby suddenly appears. He warns that Harry will be in danger if he returns to Hogwarts. Well, apparently, Dobby sabotages an important dinner for the Dursleys, who, apparently lock Harry up to prevent him from returning to the school. But Harry's friend Ron Weasley and his brothers, Fred and George, arrive in their father's flying Ford Anglia to rescue Harry. Now that's a really cool thing. I really like that. That was really funny. How Vernon Dursley tries to gets Harry by the ankle, and he just falls out the window. The reaction Petunia and Dudley's faces, boy. Oh boy, crazy. So apparently, they bring Harry to the Weasley household, and boy, he really likes it and everything. So, but apparently, Ron's mother Molly comes out, and she's surprised. Well, just not leaving a note. The car was gone. Everything. Yeah. So apparently, what's more is the youngest member of the Weasley clan, Ginny. We get to see a little more of her in this. Yeah, she doesn't say much of anything when she sees Harry. We also get introduced to Arthur Weasley, Ron's dad, who works in the Ministry of Magic and the Misuse of Muggle Artifacts Office. Really something. Yeah. They also have an owl named Errol who really is kind of, I don't know, you'll know when you see him. Anyway, in Diagon Alley, Harry and the Weasley family are joined by Rubius Hagrid and Hermione Granger. Yes. After Harry uses flute powder, and this is one of my favorite parts. Once Ron says Diagon Alley, but Harry takes it and says diagonally. And Mrs. Weasley's like, "What did he say, dear?" And Mr. Weasley's like, "Diagonally." It's like, I thought he did. And ends up in Nocturne Alley, which is one bad place. Anyway, so they go into to the bookshop where they have an occurrence with Gilderoy Lockhart, who is now Hogwarts' new defense against the dark arts teacher. Well, Harry's rival Draco Malfoy shows up and confronts him. But soon Harry has an occurrence. Well, by meeting his dad, Lucius Malfoy, we get introduced to. After meeting several others, he slips a book into Ginny's cauldron. When Harry and Ron are blocked from entering platform 9 3/4 at London King's Cross railway station, since everybody else made it through, they take the flying car to Hogwarts. After crashing into a tree known as the Whomping Willow and breaks Ron's wand, well, they get into a bit of a hot water, and especially they are caught by Argus Filch, the caretaker. He's like, "Oh dear, we are in trouble." And takes them to Severus Snape, the head of Slytherin House. But Professor McGonagall, well, promises it too that they won't be expelled, but they would receive detention though. Well, anyway, in detention, Harry hears strange voices and later finds the caretaker, Argus Filch's cat, Mrs. Norris, petrified, alongside a message written in blood. The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the air, beware. Yeah. So, apparently, Professor McGonagall explains that one of Hogwarts' founders, Salazar Slytherin, supposedly constructed a secret chamber containing a monster that only his heir can control, capable of purging the school of Muggle-born students. Yes, apparently, who threatens Hermione by calling Hermione a mudblood. Yes. Horrible. Horrible. Just horrible. Especially when Ron tries to stop him with his broken wand and why Malfoy's made the seeker for the Slytherin Quidditch team. Yeah. And Ron gets a howler, a loud mist from his mother and all that jazz. Well, apparently it's... Yeah. Yeah, when he's trying to fix it up with tape, he's like, "Say it, I'm doomed." And Harry's like, "You're doomed." Crazy. Okay, now where was I? Oh, yes. Suspecting Malfoy is the heir, Harry, Ron, and Hermione plan to question him by disguising themselves by using Polyjuice Potion, which Hermione brews in a disused girl's bathroom haunted by a ghost known as Moaning Myrtle. During the Quidditch game, Harry's arm is broken by a rogue bludger. Well, Lockhart tries to fix it, but unfortunately removes the bones and what have you. So he's put in the hospital wing where Madame Pomfrey takes care of him. But Dobby visits him in the infirmary later that night and reveals that he closed the barrier to platform 9 3/4 and caused that bludger to chase Harry to force him to leave the school. It's like, Harry Potter must go home. He also reveals that the chamber had been opened in the past. When Harry communicates with a snake, well, during a duel with Malfoy, the school believes he's the heir. Harry and Ron learn Malfoy is not the heir, but his father had told him that it had been 50 years since the chamber was opened. Wouldn't tell him who opened it, only that they were expelled. The last time the chamber was opened, a Muggle-born girl died. So Harry finds an enchanted diary owned by former student Tom Riddle, who 50 years prior accused Hagrid, then a student, of opening the chamber. When the diary is stolen and Hermione is petrified, Harry and Ron question Hagrid. So Professor Dumbledore, along with Cornelius Fudge, the Minister of Magic, and Lucius arrive to take Hagrid to Azkaban prison, but he discreetly tells the boys to follow the spires in the Forbidden Forest. There, Harry and Ron meet Hagrid's giant pet spire, Aragog, who reveals Hagrid's innocence and provides a clue about the chamber's monster, but apparently he doesn't let the two go. Them along with Hagrid's dog, Fang. A book page in Hermione's petrified hand identifies the monster as a basilisk, a giant serpent that kills people who make direct eye contact with it. The petrified victims only saw it indirectly. She also learned it travels through the plumbing. Ginny has been taken to the chamber. The staff nominate Lockhart to save her. So Harry and Ron find him preparing to flee, exposing him as a fraud, deducing that Moaning Myrtle was the girl the basilisk killed. They find the chamber's entrance in the bathroom she haunts. Inside a tunnel leading to the chamber, Lockhart seizes Ron's broken one and tries to erase the boy's memories before escaping, but the spell backfires, instead wiping Lockhart's memory and causing a cave-in which separates Harry from Ron and Lockhart. Now for the ending. You know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box, fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, continue on. Here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Now, Harry finds and enters the chamber alone and finds Ginny unconscious, guarded by Riddle, who reveals that he used the diary to manipulate Ginny into reopening the chamber. Riddle takes Harry's wand and says he is Slytherin's heir and Voldemort's younger self. After Harry expresses his loyalty to Dumbledore, Dumbledore's pet phoenix, Fawkes, arrives with a sorting hat, causing Riddle to summon the basilisk. Fawkes comes down and blinds the basilisk, and the sorting hat produces the sword of Godric Gryffindor, with which Harry battles the basilisk, killing it. Through its fangs, though its fangs poisons him in the process. Despite his injury, Harry snaps the diary with a basilisk fang, defeating Riddle and reviving Ginny. Fawkes' tears heal Harry and carries him and the others back to Hogwarts. Harry earns Dumbledore's praise and Hagrid's release. Harry accuses Lucius, Dobby's master, of planting the diary in Ginny's cauldron, and tricks him into freeing Dobby. The basilisk's victims are healed. Hermione reunites with Harry and Ron, and Hagrid returns to Hogwarts. Lockhart is left permanently baffled by the rebounding curse in a post-credits coda. End of story. So what did I think of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets? Well, I love this just as much as Sorcerer's Stone. Again, this was just a big success as its predecessor, but it didn't quite make as much because I failed to bring up in my review of Sorcerer's Stone. The film went on to make a billion worldwide. This one went on to make $879 million worldwide. It became the second highest grossing film of 2002, losing to The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, which came out the following month. Nevertheless, it was nominated for many awards just like before. Now, of course, I love the story. I've read the book. Of course, I've already brought that up in my last video. I've read all the books of Harry Potter, and so it was really something. The story was really good. John Williams returns to do the score, and that was awesome too. The cast was good too. Once again, we got Daniel Radcliffe as Harry, Rupert Grint as Ron, and Emma Watson as Hermione. They were all good. Kenneth Branagh, who I recently remembered him from Wild Wild West, and of course later on from some other things. Of course, he'd later go on to direct Thor. He plays Gilderoy Lockhart. Now, actually, Hugh Grant was the first choice to play the role, but due to reported scheduling conflicts, he was unable to. And Alan Cumming was also considered for the role as well. But I think he was, currently working on X2, which would be coming out the following year, as he played Kurt Wagner, alias Nightcrawler. Anyway, the rest of the cast, we have the same as before. John Cleese is nearly headless Nick. Unfortunately, that was the only other time we saw him, man. And Warwick Davis is Professor Flitwick, but we only get to see him for a little bit. Robbie Coltrane returns as Rubius Hagrid, who's absolutely really good. Richard Griffiths as Vernon Dursley. Fiona Shaw as Petunia Dursley. Yeah. Richard Harris in his second and final performance as Albus Dumbledore. He died shortly before the film was released. See, Jason Isaacs plays Lucius Malfoy. He was really good. I liked his performance. Gemma Jones plays Madame Pomfrey. Alan Rickman returns as Severus Snape. See, Dame Maggie Smith back as McGonagall, and Julie Walters returns as Molly Weasley. Of course, other cast members returning include Harry Melling as Dudley, James and Oliver Phelps as Fred and George, Chris Rankin as Percy, and Bonnie Wright as Jenny. Tom Felton returns as Draco Malfoy. Jamie Wayland and Joshua Herdman return as Crabbe and Goyle. Matthew Lewis and Devon Murray return as Neville Longbottom and Seamus Finnegan. David Bradley back as Argus Filch, and Sean Biggerstaff as Oliver Wood. Leslie Phillips voices the Sorting Hat. Let's see now. Mark Williams plays Arthur Weasley. Shirley Henderson plays Moaning Myrtle, and Miriam Margolyes plays Professor Sprout, who I want to mention, and she's a herbology professor and teaches kids about the mandrakes, which help out in curing the petrified students. She's the head of Hufflepuff House. We also have Robert Hardy as Cornelius Fudge. Let's see, and Hugh Mitchell as Colin Creevy, a first-year student that's a fan of Harry's, and he's in Gryffindor as well. Anyway, but like before, the list goes on with the characters. Anyway, I had a lot of fun. I watched this like 2 or 3 times when I got it on video cassette. And, well, after watching on Peacock again, well, maybe not again, but for the first time in years, I gotta say, it hasn't changed much. I love Chamber of Secrets. It's definitely a fun sequel. Once again, it's got a great story. It's got great characters. The music is great. Oh, everything in this was just as good as the first. So, with everything said, would I recommend Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets? Answer, hell yeah. Yes, this is one flick you cannot afford to miss. You can't afford to miss out on any of the Harry Potter flicks, especially if you're a completionist. But if you are a completionist and if it's your first time watch, I would say give it maybe a one-time watch. But I'm still going with hell yeah, alright? Just because. So anyway, it was just so much fun. The battle with the Basilisk in the Chamber of Secrets, that was really something. Yeah, it was fun. So anyway, what are your thoughts on Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets? You can tell me in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you a review of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Thanks for watching, and if you like this, you may want to consider check out some of these other movies. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of Scooby-Doo, which came out the same year. This came out in 2002, or you can see, well, see in the upper right-hand corner, it is my review for another sequel with some spectacular bits, and that's Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween. Or go to the bottom left-hand corner, and you can check out my my spoiler-free review for the recent adaptation of Little Women, which Emma Watson starred in. Would be one of her last films, unfortunately. Anyway, the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.